What's up, Rollies?
It's the Benz fam,
and we are back with another video. Today we are finally going to tell y'all our engagement
story.
Engagement
story. Same thing. Our proposal story.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Proposal story. We have not done this vlog because we've gone to do this vlog several times and we always argue because I don't have the fondest memories of our proposal, my proposal, and I don't know how she feels about it, but
we fight every time we talk about the proposal story. So we'll be like, okay, we're gonna film the proposal story today, and then we get into a fight, energy gets messed up. So today we didn't talk about it first.
Nope.
So we'll fight after.
We're gonna fight after or during, but whatever.
Or maybe this will get it all out and we just move on from here.
I've moved on. That's why I don't ever talk about it. That's why we haven't filmed this video, because I don't like to talk about it. But we will talk about it for y'all. We gonna talk about it.
Definitely wasn't a fairy tale.
For me. Well, what was wrong about it for you?
Way to be the victim.
What was wrong about it for you?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's answer some questions. On the camera. What part was wrong?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
There was no suffering.
Wasn't no suffering, but it wasn't what she makes it.
Oh, so I should have proposed a better way?
No, that's not it at all.
So then what's the
come on?
What's the down? No, what's the downside for you in this?
It's not the downside. It's just like we'll get to the part where it makes it look like I was a bad person, but in all reality, like there was no way for me to know what her intentions really were.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about you're acting like you didn't get a good proposal.
No, not at all. I felt like she did a very good job. I wasn't saying that.
Good, because you could go.
Shut up. I wasn't saying that, y'all.
One day, the devil jumped in my soul. And I decided that
nah. He never left.
So one day I decided, we had been dating for about a year, and I'm like, you know what, I want to be with this girl, because she was a girl back then. I was like, I want to be with her, and I'm probably not going to be with her if I continue doing what I'm doing right now, because I had a lot of different situations going on. I had a lot of different situationships. I lived in a lot of different states. I was traveling all the time. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to slow all this down and switch it up if I want her to take me seriously, because she was just the most reluctant, hard-headed, closed off, I don't care, you could go person I had ever met. I'm like, all right, so I can't be, you know, having all these side situationships going on and expecting her to be back home not doing nothing. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, I could cause her to do something to where I don't want to mess with you no more. Like, I don't like you no more. So that would have been my own fault. So I knew that. So one day I started to throw it out there to my best friend, and I'm like, I want to marry her, I want to be with her, I want her to be my baby mama, which I had been saying for like the year prior to that. I would see her out and I would point her out. I don't think we even talked then, huh? And I'll be like, that right there, that's my baby mama. I'm gonna marry her. Look at her. Ooh, she's so fine. I'm gonna marry her. I would see her. I've probably seen her out like 3-4 times. I would always tell whoever I was with that. And so now they laugh because they're like, you really said that, and then you really did that. Like, why am I calling for me? I'm like talking myself through this because I'm like, dang, like, can you really not cheat on her? Can you really be faithful? Like, are you ready to be married and be with one person? So I had finally decided I was gonna tell my best friend. And I'm like, I gotta cut everything off. I got to propose to her and I gotta change my life. Like, if I wanna be with her, I gotta do this. And my best friend was like, what? Cut everything off? Yeah, right. She's like, well, I mean, I know how you feel about her, but I just don't see you doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I knew, but I didn't know. And I always told myself, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You can't halfway do it. You gotta be real. Like, you can't ask someone to marry you and then do them dirty. Like, you just don't. If that's what you're gonna do, don't even ask her. Don't even bring it to that level. Just leave it alone. So I told my mom, and my mom's like, what? My mom hadn't even met her yet. She's like, I told her how serious I was, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go shopping for rings and whatever. And she's like, I need to meet her. And I'm like, all right, you will. She's like, no, today. So I called her and I'm like, my mom wants to meet you. She didn't know that why or anything. And so I told my mom to meet us at this little bar that we used to go to have beers. And she came and they met. And my mom liked her. They talked, we drank. She crazy, so it was like a real raw encounter, which was good. Because I wanted my mom to know her, not some phony, you know what I mean? So the beers was good. Because, you know, get baby beers, the hood.
Shut up.
She met my mom. I started to go ring shopping, which this is one of the parts that really pisses me off. Because I know diamonds and I know diamond quality. Did you roll your eyes?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
So I wanted to get her like a real diamond. I didn't want to do none of that crushed bullshit that looks like it's all this diamonds and it's like shadows, whatever. So I'm like, you know, I want to get her a real solid diamond for her engagement. Like, I don't want to just give her a band. I want to give her like a real rock, like a real diamond. So I go and I'm like really into finding this high quality diamond and all this stuff. So finally I find it. And I buy it and I'm like, hey, like the decision is made, like I'm doing this. So that whole week I could not sleep. I was stressed out. I remember I would stay at your house and you was like, what's wrong with you? I guess I was acting weird, I don't know. But I think, was I drinking that week?
Yeah.
I was like drinking heavily that week. And she was just kind of like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing, I'll tell you later, I'll tell you later. Like, and I couldn't sleep. Like, I was stressed out because I just wanted to do right by her. And I wanted to convince myself that that's what I was ready to do. But I was, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have made all the changes. I closed down my business out of state. I moved back here, opened up a business out here. Like, I knew the things that I needed to do to let her know that I was serious. But certain situations weren't 100% cut off. So that was the only thing.
She had a graduation trip planned for me. So I just thought she was like anxious about going on the trip or something like that. Like, I didn't really realize like why she was so nervous.
So we go on our trip. And I'm like tripping because I got this ring in my bag and I'm like, I don't want it to get lost or stolen and I don't want her to see it. And I'm like, how am I going to hide it in the hotel room and whatever? So I'm still low-key stressed out. And then I had written this long,
oh yeah,
like heartfelt proposal-ish speech. And did my phone get wet?
Yeah, your phone broke like 2 days before we left.
So my phone broke. And I didn't realize that until we got to Mexico that I had lost that. So then I was really tripping, like, what am I gonna say? We went to this resort and we went on ATVs in the jungle. And we went zip lining.
The cenotes, swimming in the cenotes.
What else did we do?
We went to the
yacht.
Tulum.
Remember that yacht party
to
thing?
Isla de Mujeres. Or Isla, is it day?
Yeah.
And then we went to the temples of Tulum. The ruins of Tulum.
So we did all these activities and whatever for the first 3 days, and then I knew I'm like on the 4th day I was gonna do it. So I had them like decorate the room and bring champagne and strawberries, and then we went to the nicest restaurant on our resort, which I didn't really like it.
Yeah, it was like supposed to be the fanciest because it was like French, but I found that I don't actually like French food.
I don't like French food either, so that was kind of a bummer. They brought her out some shrimp with eyes on it.
There's a funny picture that we can't find where I'm looking at the shrimp like, I don't know why we can't find the picture, but
I'm trying to communicate with the people, which I'm half Mexican, so I'm mad at myself because I should be able to. I'm trying to tell them like I'm gonna propose and I want you to write it on the plate.
The dessert plate.
The dessert plate. Will you marry me? And so they took forever. So I just did it.
It was funny because she was rolling her chair in and out and like just doing all like just moving around like this. And I'm like, what is wrong with her? And so I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I gotta pee. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so she has to pee. And so finally she gets up and I'm thinking she's going to the bathroom. Oh, did you? Well, I thought when you got up you went to talk to the people about sending the plate. And so like she's just like acting so weird, and then like I think I went to grab your hand and it was all sweaty and stuff. So I'm like, I wonder if she's okay, like if she's not feeling good or something. Then you went to the bathroom and I'm like, okay, she must have really had to pee, because she was like just moving around being all weird. And then
I was nervous, y'all. I was so nervous.
I had no idea. Like I had like absolutely zero idea, like until she actually was on her knee. I had no idea that she was about to ask me to marry her, because I didn't think that it was that serious yet.
Of course she did.
Like I didn't realize you were that serious. How would I have realized that?
Had I not moved back and all that yet?
Yeah, but like you moved back. I was under the impression you moved back for your grandma.
Nah. So I had done a whole bunch of stuff trying to show her rather than tell her. And she didn't see none of it. Like none of the signs. None of it.
You can't say I didn't see them, but like I didn't really feel like you were doing it all for me. Like there were other reasons why you would do those things too. So like, am I supposed to just be so cocky that I'm just oh yeah, she's just moving her whole life for me.
My stuff was working out just fine the way I was doing it with my grandma. Okay. I was coming back every month. Okay. But that wasn't gonna work for you, and so I didn't want to be like saying, look, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing that for you. Like I thought that I was showing her whatever. So I get on my knee and I ask her to marry me, and she says yes, but it's like the most emotionless yes of life. Like she's just like, yeah.
I was so shocked, y'all.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
I was completely shocked. I never even had a chance to like think about us getting married.
Yeah, so she didn't want to marry me.
Like I never, like it had never in my mind gone to that at that point. I don't know that it had.
Yeah, she didn't want to marry me. So then,
no, I did not want to marry you. I never seen myself getting married at all. So it was like, it wasn't like I couldn't see myself marrying you. It was like I didn't think I was ever getting married at all.
So anyway, we go on with our trip, and I expected a different response, like even a halfway like excited or happy response. It was just real dull and just like, I don't know, I felt weird at that point.
The really hard thing like with my reaction was that I wasn't sure, to be honest. Like I knew that I couldn't say it
so
wasn't
that's
a
another
no.
thing, is that later on she was like that she said yes, but she didn't know.
I didn't know, but what was I? So no wasn't the right answer, because I didn't feel like it was a no. But am I supposed to be like, I'll think about it and expect her to ask me again, or like be able to just come back in 2 weeks and be like, okay, I thought about it and I'll marry you? I felt like really the only option I had was to say yes.
Which I feel like is really f***ed up. I wish she would have said
no.
But
okay, but so if I would have said no, would you have asked me again?
No.
Okay, or if I would have said I need to think about it, would you have asked me again?
I wouldn't have asked you again.
Would I have been able to come back to you in 2 weeks and be like, okay, I thought about it, and the answer is yes?
I don't know.
No.
Y'all tell me what
so
y'all
I had
think.
no
like,
choice
if
but
somebody
to say
asks
yes.
you to marry them and you don't know, I don't feel like you say yes. Because her not knowing showed up a lot. And that hurt me throughout a lot of the processes. Even on our way home, she was still doing that I felt was like, you don't do that. You just got engaged. You just said yes, yet you're on the phone texting inappropriately, low-key. It was like after, on our way home, like we didn't have a good flight home, because I was just like, okay, like I made a mistake. Obviously I made a mistake, but I felt more strongly about it, and I knew all of the sacrifices and the shit that I was doing. She didn't know or believe them, so I just felt like it wasn't really that solid, and that it was just like a joke at that point.
Well, I didn't really feel like it was that solid either, though, because like she said earlier, like there was a situation that wasn't really completely cut off yet. And so
there was just attachments
but regardless of like that, like, so like we're in the little area where you get to have Wi-Fi or whatever in Mexico, and one of the situations that she was still in, the person had her car, and the person was like constantly emailing that she ran over a deer, and that this happened and that happened and this happened to the car, and just like, so it was like at least a couple of times a day we were in that area so that they could email back and forth, and that was a situation that needed to be cut off. That she knew needed to be cut off, and that I was never going to take it seriously as long as that situation was there.
You that it was
you
cut
did
off,
tell me it was cut off, but we spent long portions of the day in that thing. I don't know
you can say long portions.
Okay.
You can say like 30 minutes.
Okay, but we spent some time every single day in that area so that it was every day.
I don't know about that.
I think it was. Okay, 5 out of 7?
Maybe 4.
Okay, we'll settle at 4 out of 7 days where y'all was emailing back and forth. So it's like, so you tell me the situation's over, you're cutting it off, but then you're still emailing back and forth. And people say a lot of things. People will constantly say they're about to leave the next person for you and all of these things. And in my experience, I hadn't really seen that happen too many times. So in my mind, that's what she said, but that's not what's happening.
I started to feel like there was not enough proven in the world. Like, I just brought you to Mexico, spent money on buying you a ring, got on my knee, asked you to marry me. I'm telling you that I'm cutting this shit off. I just moved back, closed my businesses. Like, I felt like I was exhausting every avenue to prove how serious I was, and still it was just like it didn't matter to her.
Mind you that at this point, by November, we have been like basically in a relationship, what, since April to November? We've basically been in a relationship for 9 months.
Which I feel like is fine, y'all. Like, I moved too fast, but I feel like she could have just said no.
But the answer wasn't no.
You don't do that. And then, like,
the answer wasn't no, though. I didn't feel like it was
and we would get into an argument, and like she would talk shit about the ring that I bought her. Like, she didn't know shit about no diamond. She's like, this plain ring with this one diamond. Like, that one diamond alone cost more than all the diamonds she ever had put together. Period. Like, it did. In my mind, I'm thinking this is dope because this is like a big diamond for your engagement. That's not your whole ring. Like, that's your band. Like, I wasn't even done with it at that point. If you want to take a look at the ring now, go ahead and show it. Go ahead and show it. It's got a lot more to it. Those ain't crushed diamonds. Those are all single diamonds on the band. Like, it just it was an emotional engagement. It just was, cause like I was hurt a lot of the time because nothing was good enough. She was so guarded and just closed off. She didn't believe. At one point, I was like, I don't really know what else I can do to prove anything else to you. Either you see it or you don't, and I don't really know if you ever will. The proposal was, I felt like it was forced. I don't feel like she wanted to marry me, but we're married, so.
It worked out. Like I said, I had absolutely no idea, especially that soon in the relationship, that it was going to that point. Like, I had no idea, and I had no idea how serious you were about everything that you were telling me, because like I said, people tell you all kind of stuff in the world. People will say anything to get what they want. And so I had no way of knowing. I will say,
she almost ran a real one off, and she would have been stuck with all these suckers. I will tell you that, because I almost left.
But we had a whole rough engagement period.
No, we did, but I almost gave up.
So like, the engagement was hard, and then after that, it was hard for years.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, there was good times, and we had good times together and stuff, but like, we had a lot of incidences. We went through a lot of stuff that should have tore us apart, should have broken us up.
But the only reason it didn't is because I didn't give up on the situation, and that's the truth. Because had I just been like whatever or acted like her, we wouldn't be together right now.
No, we wouldn't. So I'm grateful
she didn't fight
that you had the vision that I didn't have, and that you were willing to like tough it out and fight for it, because I didn't have that. I had a lot of stuff from my childhood and from my past that just made me feel like it wasn't,
but at some point,
that nothing was ever going to be real, that nobody was ever really going to be like 100% yours. Like, I had a lot of things that made me feel like the whole concept of marriage period was like built on this faulty premise of like ownership of another person. Like, there was just a lot of stuff, and I did a lot of life therapy and counseling and stuff like that too, to get where I'm at now, like being able to be open and loving and even accept her love. So I had a lot of work to do in order to be who you needed me to be, or for me to be able to give you the kind of love that you were giving me and the kind of love that you deserved. It took a lot. I had to learn a lot, and I had to open up a lot, and it was hard.
It was hard, but
it was worth it.
To y'all that are like her, like, you gotta be careful, because it was close.
It was
like
close.
I almost gave up, and had I gave up, she would have let me.
Well, I was on my way out the door all the time.
Yeah, and so
every time something went wrong,
it was always a chase. It was always a proving this and proving that, and that gets old. It does. Like if you really care about somebody, you got to take a chance. And I used to always tell her that, take a chance. Until I act like everybody else, you got to treat me differently. I've never done the things to you that other people have, but you're holding me to their standards and to what they did.
We just thought about it differently. Like her idea was, you know, give me this level of trust and this level of understanding until I show you that I don't deserve it. And in my mind, it was like, why would I do that? You get nothing until you show me you deserve it. And so we just had different ways of looking at it, and I just like,
that don't work. That, prove it and then you'll get it. That doesn't work. You can't build on that.
But that's so hard, because if you really look at it, you cannot go around in the world, or at least in my life and my experiences, it was not something that you could do, go out in the world just feeling like everybody gets this level of trust.
Well, I don't think everybody does, but I felt like I was different.
But how was I supposed to know you were different?
Because you fucked with dirtball, scumbag losers, and I wasn't that in any aspect. I was very different from everybody else.
You were very different, but like with all of your situations and stuff you had going on, like from the outside looking in, which is all I was able to do, is like look in from the outside, there was absolutely no reason for me to believe that you had pure intentions. There was no reason for me to believe that. Like, you were showing me things, but people show you things sometimes to get what they want out of you.
Like I said, it's a good thing that I was in control and you weren't. Because
we wouldn't have gotten here. And I really do, like, I really am grateful that baby was so persistent and that she didn't let me go, because things have worked out very well for us. Our relationship now is, it's funny because sometimes I feel like our relationship now is what it should have been, like in the early, like where it should have been like, oh, lovey-dovey, we're engaged, we're getting married.
But I feel like it's good that we got all that BS out the way
I
in the
agree.
beginning, and now we can just live.
But I also think it's so funny that we stayed together through all that.
Yeah, we went through a lot.
We went through a lot and we stayed together, and I joke that I would never advise anybody that I loved to stay in the relationship that we were in for a long time.
Yeah, but it was just a lot of fighting. She used to love to fight me on everything. On everything. She would love to fight me on every little thing. Even me loving her, she just wanted to like, what's the word? Not reject, but like,
kind of reject, but that goes back to childhood issues of let me reject you before you reject me.
Yeah, it was just everything was a fight. She had to fight every other side of every conversation was a fight. Everything just used to be such a fight with her.
It was.
That's hard to deal with. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, I'm not. I know I'm extra and I'm very emotional and I like to communicate and all that kind of stuff. But this, for some reason, and I always tell her, like, I don't know, I just really loved her. I met her and I fell in love with her and I wanted her. And
because we were meant to be.
Yeah. Anyway, ask any questions. We could have a follow-up Q&A.
Also, that is why we were engaged for 2 years, just so y'all know. Do not get married while you're still in the middle of all of your nonsense. If y'all still ain't getting along and stuff and y'all engaged, don't get married in the middle of it. Wait until you get to a good point in the relationship to where you're like, okay, like I'm 100% sure that this is going to work out. We're just having a hard time.
Counseling helps too.
Counseling helps very, very much.
Anyway, thanks for rolling. As always, we love y'all. Hit that like button.
Make sure you subscribe. Turn the notifications on.
And for real, hit that like button. If you don't like it, don't hit it. If you like it, hit it. I'm just saying, let's be real. And as you know, I holla.